Hey, so here we are. I'm packing up and getting ready to move to Thailand. And let's be honest, I don't have the most solid plan. Yep, you heard me. I'm heading to a new country. And while I have some ideas, the actual plan, honestly, it's kind of loose. But here's the funny part. I've talked to many people who've already made the move. And they all swear that's not having a set plan is actually the way to go. They say it will be easier to figure a lot of it out when I actually get there. Sounds a little chaotic, right? But I'm like, okay, maybe you're onto something. It is time to teach myself to let go. So I will take their advice, follow it, and share as I explore Thailand. Here are a list of tips people have given me, and once in Thailand, we will find out if they are good tips. Tip number 1, don't stress about housing before you get there. Just rent short term and figure it out when you're there. Now, I gotta be honest, this triggers the hell out of me. I don't know about you, but not having a place to stay, that just makes me anxious. Like, I'm not about to show up in a new country with nowhere to sleep. No way. So I've already sorted out a place to stay in Pattaya. Huge shout out to Robert and Riley for ensuring I am set up. If it weren't for them, I'd be a little bit more stressed. So yeah, thanks guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. Tip number 2, open a Thai bank account. I've heard from everyone. This is pretty simple once you get there. All you need is your passport, your visa, and some patience. I will explore the different banks, flash my passport, and hopefully walk out with an account to make life easier. Sounds easy, right? But we'll see when I am at the counter trying to explain my visa situation in broken Thai. Wish me luck. Tip number 3, get health insurance. A lot of people have told me that I should get my health insurance before I actually arrive. Thailand's healthcare system is top notch, but as an expat, I need to ensure I'm covered. Apparently, relying just on travel insurance isn't enough. So I plan to sort this out before I get to Thailand, just to be safe. Hopefully, I'll have everything lined up before landing, but I'm trying to avoid that last minute scramble. Fingers crossed, I don't need the second. Fingers crossed, I don't need it the second I get there. Tip number 4, learn Thai. A little. Okay, so everyone told me to learn a few basic Thai phrases. Stuff like how to say hello, thank you, and for me to ask for directions. So I've downloaded some apps and books to memorize essential words. My goal is to at least have a few things in my back pocket when I land. But the big question is, how much of this will I actually use once I get there? And will I even remember it after a month of being in the thick of it? No pressure. I'm just trying to learn enough to make life easier. But we'll see how much Thai I actually speak once I'm in the streets surrounded by people who talk way better than I do. Tip number 5, prepare for the heat and the monsoons. Everyone told me, it's hot in Thailand. Get ready for the heat and the humidity. I've read about it and seen it on YouTube, people dripping with sweat all day. So yeah, I'm mentally preparing for this. But honestly, I'm still kind of dreading it. Going from being an indoor winter couch potato to someone who can handle 95-degree heat without losing it, we'll see how that works out. And then there's the monsoon season. Apparently I'm supposed to prepare for torrential rains. At least I get to buy some new rain boots though. We'll see how I deal with that, especially when I step out of my apartment and get drenched within 5 minutes. Tip number 6, meet other expats and locals. Everyone's been telling me to join Facebook groups, sign up for meetup events, and hit up expat hotspots to connect with people and build a community. Honestly, meeting new people has always been a struggle for me, mainly because of my anxiety and PTSD. It's not easy for me to put myself out there, and I tend to get really overwhelmed in social situations, even here in the States. I can't count the number of times I backed out of plans or just stayed home because the idea of socializing felt too draining. So the thought of doing this in a completely new country where I don't speak the language, well, it's a bit intimidating. I already imagine all the awkwardness of communicating with the fear of being misunderstood or judged. On top of that, I've spent so long trying to control every little detail of my life because that's what made me feel safe. But now I'm stepping into a situation where I have no control over how people will react, how conversations will go, or even what opportunities will come my way. And that, above everything else, that's honestly one of the scariest parts of going to Thailand. I've lived with the pressure of feeling like I had to control everything to manage my anxiety, and now I'm learning to let go of that grip. It's a huge challenge. But here's the thing. I want to be challenged. I know I have to do it if I want to feel more home while I am there. I'm hoping that by pushing myself to meet people in a new environment, I'll not only grow personally, but also learn to cope better with my anxiety in social settings. We'll see later how it all goes, but I'm determined to make an effort to step out of my comfort zone, even if it's scary. I can find some cool people, hopefully, to connect with, and it won't be as overwhelming as I imagined. Tip number 7, figure out work later. Okay, so here's the deal. Even though I didn't plan every detail of this trip like my anxiety monsters would have loved me to, I did make sure to put a little savings away for emergencies because I am an adult. So I've got some financial cushion to fall back on if needed. But even with that, I still want to live on a budget while I'm in Thailand. I'm not trying to blow all my savings, so I've set a budget for myself and plan to stick to it as much as possible. That said, I'll also be looking for work while there. I'm thinking of diving into the job market, whether that's teaching English, freelancing, or something else entirely. I'll bring you along for the ride and show you what it's like to search for work as an expat in Thailand. We'll see how it goes, but I look forward to sharing that journey with you. At the end of the day, moving to Thailand with no real plan has its perks. I'm not stressing over every tiny detail or trying to have everything mapped out perfectly. I'm letting life happen and trusting the advice of expats who've been there and done that. Some tips will work out, others we'll see later. But that's the fun part, right? I'm excited to take this leap, see where it takes me, and share the journey with you. So stay tuned for more updates as I figure it out along the way.